You grew up in New York, and your parents are well-known visual artists, and
Yeah.
you grew up in this alternative artsy scene. What kind of kid were you? How do you characterize a young Lena Dunham?
I mean, I think I was always much more comfortable with adults than I was with other kids. I had this amazing access to my parents' world of all these people who were creatively engaged and intelligent and funny and strange, and those were the people that I wanted to be with. And so there was a little bit of like a come down when you go to kindergarten and are like, oh, oh, this is what we're doing. And so I'm not saying I was the most precocious or the most brilliant. That's where I felt comfortable.
And did other kids feel that?
I did not have friends until I was like 14, I would say. Like, it took me
Any friends?
I had one friend who's still my friend, but she didn't go to school with me. I had an outside of school friend who was kind of like, Lena's weird, but I'm okay with it. And that's kind of still how she feels. But I just wasn't, I didn't feel comfortable. And I'm sure it was just as much about me as it was about them. Like, I was just the person who was always, like reading a book in the corner of the cafeteria, like trying to get a break from other kids. And I'm sure I missed out on some real pleasurable aspects of childhood, but I also, I have obsessive-compulsive disorder, and it started manifesting itself when I was 5. So it's not like I had an opportunity to exist in a carefree way.
That's a big part of the book. You talk about, as a kid, starting therapy because you were afraid of everything.
Yeah.
You talk about OCD, you talk about sleep issues. Where are you at with what we sort of crudely call mental health issues now?
Yeah, I mean, where I'm at with mental health issues is that I've personally never felt better because I'm allowed to have these incredible outlets to talk about what I'm feeling, and I have amazing resources, and I have great insurance, and I have great, I have the luckiest possible situation a person with my particular temperament could be in. And so I feel lucky, and I feel like it's my responsibility as a person who's been through that to talk about it in an open way, because obviously that's still, as far as we've come in terms of talking about mental health, we still have much farther to go. And it's still, after Robin Williams committed suicide, which was, I think, a very painful thing, it was a painful public event.
Horrible.
And he was obviously brought so much joy to so many people. It was amazing for me to see how unsympathetic so many reactions were, how many people think it was like he made a selfish choice, and how few people understood the kind of gravity and intensity. I was like, we shouldn't be shaming him, we should be celebrating his bravery for the fact that he lived with this for as long as he did. And it's a really important dialogue to have, and to remind people that this isn't like, it's not a choice, like you're a super when you kill yourself. It's like, for some people, it's the only way to escape. And I feel really lucky that I've had so much coaching in how to manage my own
Did
stuff.
you somehow, I don't mean to be macabre, but did you somehow relate to his choice?
I have never had that. That's not where my brain goes. I've got super anxiety, but like, I'm not.
Suicidal thoughts are not something.
No, I'm not a depressed. I mean, people always go, I'm not a depressed person. Of course, having anxiety can make you depressed, but I always had this very strong will to be alive and to make things. I just wanted to do it with a little less trouble. But what I did relate to was the feeling that he must have had of having to hide this pain behind a facade of humor. And, I mean, of course, his sense of humor was genuine. He had a skill and he shone it on the world, but he also was clearly hiding behind it people did not realize all that he was struggling with.
And do you feel like when you talk about now, you have this public outlet, it was quite beautifully said, that you have a way of having this discussion almost societally about about mental health issues and by the way, that's not an easy thing to do, and you'd be commended for doing that as well. But do you still feel like you're hiding on some level?
I think something that can be hard is that people want you to go, I used to have this and now I'm cured. And the fact is you're never, it's a learned or genetic way of thinking that never leaves you completely. So I still go through phases of crippling anxiety, and I feel like I have this great life and I have this great job, and I'm financially secure and career-wise secure and get to wear great shoes. So I don't feel sometimes like I have the right to say, and I still really struggle with this. And also I'm responsible for a lot of people at I run a show with help and with partners, but I have employees and I have a lot of You know, I feel a responsibility to the people that I work with and for. And so sometimes, you know, you don't want to go, I'm out of my head with anxiety right now, because you're like, I'm the captain of the ship and I don't want to scare everybody.